So the goal of attending a career fair for an employer, for a company, why they want to join career fair is really they try to meet and find the right candidates as many as possible in a short amount of time. So they want to just like meet as many people as possible. And also because of this and the traditional format of a career fair where interviews meet with interviewer face to face, it's easier for both company and interviewer to communicate and get to know each other. And you should also treat it as you have passed the online application, right? Because online application doesn't really guarantee a face to face communicate. So leverage the career fair. It's super important. You kind of like have passed the online application and have a direct face to face opportunity to talk with those hiring manager or recruiter. And also given that the success rate of a career fair is higher than just purely applying online. So how can we narrow it down and get us more follow-up interviews through the career fair? So I want to categorize career fair, the preparation into a couple of stages. So for people who have attended career fair before, when do you prepare for career fair? Usually is 2 months before. Why that long? So you first have to understand that for school to organize a career fair, it takes them way more longer than you thought. It's not just a couple of weeks. They need to connect with all those potential employers in the list and reach out to them. And they need to finalize the date, the event, then the theme, all those stuffs. And so I want you to start build your awareness 2 months before so that you don't miss any event that is upcoming in their calendar. Okay, so build your awareness, prepare that, touch base with them, do not miss any email they send out. Okay, and then get familiar with the key timelines and a milestone. To do this, you can easily leverage your school resources. For example, you can reach out to career service center, organization, or even your professor to understand what those career fair will be and when, and who those employers will be. Okay, and then 1 month before, you should actually follow up with your career service center, because probably 2 months before the career fair, not everything has been ironed out. So follow up with them and try to understand more when things get more updated. Who are the employers? What are those opening jobs that employers are hiring for in the event? And also, similar to the previous job application tracking system, I would highly recommend you to build the career fair job application tracking system. And that will help you to be really organized when you go to the career fair. And then last but not the least, very important, do background research for employer. For those who will join the career fair, and then the opening jobs that they will offering, what are the jobs? What are the requirements? Right? Read the JDs, read their background, understand the company's culture, what they're looking for. So you need to do all those things. It's not easy that you can finish in 1 to 2 weeks or with all other things going on. So I would suggest you to do this 1 to 2 months before. And this is how, just one example, how career fair tracking system would look like. As you can see, there are a few columns. And then, for example, the SU Business School career fair, right? The time and the company and what job they're offering, and then for you who have attended the career fair, who have you connected? What are the key info that you get from your communication with them? Who are the recruiter that you know from the event, right? Is there opportunity available? What's the current status? Have you started the initial interview, or have you submitted the application after the career fair? What is the next step? So this is how it should look like. Also, feel free to add more columns or more information that you think that would be helpful for you. And then finally, during the career fair day, first, don't forget about the dress code. I don't want to emphasize more than that, but be aware of the dress code. And then also, do a self-introduction preparation. You should be very confident when you introduce yourself, and the language you use for international or non-international students, the language used, no grammar issue, everything should be perfect for self-introduction. And then arrive time. Usually people arrive the career fair probably like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or even after the career fair starts. I would suggest you arrive between 15 to 1 hour before it starts. Why? The time varies a lot because depends on the types of career fair that you participate. It can be very, very popular. For example, the Amazon, we had a career fair last fall, and then I had a few mentees. They try to get into the main center where the career fair was hosted, and then they're waiting live for 3 hours. Like even before it gets started, there was a line in front. So really take that into consideration. You don't want to get fully prepared, and when you go there, you need wait for 3 hours, and then your energy get burned out even before you try to nail things down. So based on the career fair, decide your arrival time. And then after you get into the center, use a storage space for unnecessary items. Bring things such as a notebook, right? You want to take notes while you're talking to others, or when you summarize your previous performance for the next discussion, and bring your resume. Okay, and then also background research. Sometimes you forget the information that you did in the background research ahead of time, and then you need to probably put that in the tracking system or in a notebook. Any referral letter. If you have any referral letter from the specific company that you want to talk with, bring that with you. And then once you get everything ready, first take 5 minutes to get familiar with this environment. Map it out in the because everyone who get into the job fair should have received a brochure, right? And then in the first 5 minutes, map out that and highlight those companies that in your top tier list, second tier list, and design a map, design a way, a road, how you want to start, or where you want to talk, who you want to talk next. And then after that, warm up yourself with plan B employer or second tier, third tier employers. You don't want to miss the great opportunity, meet with your employers in your dream list. So warm up yourself. And then when you wait, highly chances that when you want to talk with an employer or hiring manager, recruiter, you will wait in a line. When you wait in line, don't just like do nothing. Be focused. If you can observe how the previous person, their communication goes, you may be able to hear some of the question that the recruiter asks. So get a quick impression of the recruiter when you are in line, and then you may be flexible. You may be able to hear some information that you can prepare quickly, and then you are prepared when it's your turn. And then build a great first impression with your confidence. As I previously mentioned, your self-introduction should be a perfect one. Start with that, build a great impression, and confidently talk with the recruiter or hiring manager. Then after the previous talk, quickly review your performance before the next one. Don't rush to talk to as many as possible. Summarize your performance. Figure out those things that you can improve in the next round, okay? And then once you have finished to talk to all those people in your list, do not rush to leave if you still have time, if the career fair is still on, because again, this is a great opportunity for you to practice your communication skill, your interview skill, right? Even though those employers are not in your dream list, it doesn't hurt to talk to them, introduce yourself. All right, so what should we do after that?
Can I interrupt you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, I know a lot of our international students, what's your advice if they feel like there's not a lot of opportunities for international students at the career fair, or companies aren't willing to hire or sponsor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's your advice if it's grad students and they feel like a lot of the opportunities are more undergrad focused or entry level? What's kind of the perspective to have in those situations, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So I would say before the career fair, you need to, especially for people who are in a rush to find a job, allocate your time, prioritize things you want to do or events you want to go. Before the career fair, you should do a very good research on those company. And then later I will be sharing how do you know if that company can sponsor the H-1B or a green card in a long term. But do your research, understand what are those companies? Do they have a history to sponsor H-1B? So that's for international students. And number two, if you don't feel there are too many opportunities in the career fair, when you do the research pre the career fair, I would also rethink about this. Career fair is not the is not the only not the only not the place for crack it down, nail down a job, to find a job. It's a great place to find a job, connect with employers, but it's also a great place to practice your interview skill. Okay, so even though, again, first allocate your time, prioritized based on your priority. For example, if you have a 2 career fair back to back in one day, you probably want to prioritize the one with more employer sponsor H-1B, if that's your top priority. However, if your goal is not, I need to find a job in a rush, you may want to attend the career fair that provide you more opportunity to communicate and to get to know the overall job market. So be really clear about your goal. Does that answer the questions?
I think so, Yampe. That was great. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so now let's move to the post-career fair. I think we need to move faster because I have a lot of slides after this one. So review the career fair job application tracking system, and that should happen one day after, right? You want to make sure you have a fresh mind of who you talked to, what is the key information, what the next step. And then do not forget, write a thank you letter 1 to 2 days afterwards. You will get the business card from the recruiter in most cases. So write a thank you letter, right? In that thank you letter, re-emphasize how much passion you have for this role, your expertise, your background. And then also LinkedIn connections. That's also important for you to get to know that person and build a connection in the long run. And then summarize your overall performance, practice, and improve for the next career fair.